All right, Cami and Casanova, we are live. We are here to discuss our panel discussion today is unprotected. Is the Black woman unprotected? And what does that protection look like? Is there a measurement to that protection? Like when should we or shouldn't we protect her? Does she have the rite of passage just because she's a Black woman? Jace, Casanova, this is your baby. I'm gonna let you get it crack-a-lacking.
Okay, the black woman. Yeah, they go back just piggybacking off of what we was talking about as far as like when it comes to the black female, how it seems as though black women had just become accustomed to disrespect. It's like it's the norm or it's the thing to do, and so it's not something that's that's really brought about or seen as a big issue because you know how they depict it in videos, how they put how they seen in movies and on TV shows. And I mean, you may have a couple shows here and there, but for the most part, whenever they portray the role of a black woman, how she's seen? She's seen as someone that's loud, someone that's obnoxious, somebody that doesn't have any class or take care of her. It's always this hood image of her that's portrayed, and then you do have your Claire Huxtables or women of that nature that's shown here and there. But for the most part, I mean, even in music, I remember back when music where it was we would sing songs because we wanted to love on a woman, and now it's everything in the music is F that B, she ain't this. I mean, even R&B songs, you know, even R&B songs it's the disrespect of women. It's just outlandish. But if you look over in different cultures, whether it's Asians, Southeastern, Middle Eastern countries, and things of that nature, they may, as far as like amongst their culture, treat their women a certain way. But as far as like the world goes, you disrespecting one of their women is something that could possibly get you killed in certain countries. They're held to a higher standard. And I just think that for like black women, not too many men speak up for black women. And then when they do speak up for a black woman or do the things that a man is supposed to do as far as like taking care of his household, taking care of his woman, admitting or saying that, I love my wife. Uh a good point, Russell Wilson said that he was scared to lose his wife, which is Sierra. And for that statement alone, he was considered a simp. And it's to me, it's like, well, what's wrong with a man saying, you know what, I love this woman and I cherish her to the point where I don't want to lose her. So I'm not gonna do the things that cause me to lose her. And to me, that's just something that's constantly thrown out there. I mean, if you look at certain individuals, I'm not gonna say their names, but they make it their business to degrade black women. Or if you got this many kids, ain't no man gonna want you, or which is utter BS to me, because how can you sit up here and say that because a woman has so many kids that she's not worthy to find a certain type of man? Because you can't speak for every man, you can speak for yourself. And from that, it's just so much that's being hammered into black women of saying, oh, well, you too big, or you too this, or you too that. Where it's people that like big women, people that like tall women, it's people that like short women. You know, that's just what it is. So you can't really speak for the masses, and it's just, to me, I'm just tired of it. What's your opinion on it?
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Hmm.
Do y'all hear that feedback? I'm getting a lot of feedback. Can you guys hear that feedback?
I can.
Hold on. Let me. Okay. Is it gone now? Nope, it's still there. Okay. Casanova, I got a question for you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Define simp, first of all. We've been hearing this word a lot in the last 12 to 24 months. What is a simp man? What does that mean?
Okay, so a simp, it's like the North American term is a silly or a foolish person. The urban term is it's when a male is overly submissive to a female and gains nothing from it. So it's an overly submissive guy.
So you're saying that people consider Russell a simp for protecting Sierra?
Yeah.
Who are these people that's looking at him as such? Like when you say they, who are they?
The majority, your so-called alpha black males. It's see, I'll be trying to give people shine, but I'll just say that like the Kevin Samuel alpha males, the Kevin Samuel Negroes.
Do you think those are the majority or those people are the exception? Because from my experiences and people that I know in my little circle of life, really applaud a man like Russell who will protect Sierra from having a negative encounter with Future, her son's father. So again, I consider the source. Like, I don't think because a man protects his wife from any hurt, harm, and danger or sees something and he kind of intercepts that makes him a so-called simp.
Well, I agree with you 100%, but the majority of people that I know, as far as like men that I know, that's their ideology. You know, and just hearing them talk, it's kind of it shows a lack of intelligence and a lack of maturity, because the understanding of when women are not needed is one of the topics that was brought up in the group or in the conversation with some guys, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, well, how do you figure that women are not needed? And one of the topics was, well, name something that women have brought to the table, women have did that men need women for. And it's like, the list is so long that I can bring up.
You're right. The list is endless.
But it's just that the ignorance of it, the idea that if a woman gets pregnant, it's her fault. It's not the man's fault that a woman gets pregnant, which is the dumbest idea. And then the thing of it is that it trickles down. And then you got all these guys, oh, well, women ain't this and women ain't that. And it's like, at some point in time, you gotta kind of use like common sense and logic. But a lot of these guys don't use common sense and logic. It's just they want to follow what they feel is the fad, or these are hurt men. In my opinion, they've been hurt.
I want to talk about something you said about other cultures, and I'm having so much feedback. I don't know how to fix it. I do apologize. Other cultures in the way they treat their women. A lot of cultures, or some cultures, don't even feel women are human enough to stand by the male side. They want the woman behind them. So I wouldn't compare our culture to other cultures too much, because the way they minimize who a woman is.
Okay.
the way they minimize who a woman is I don't even know what word to describe that. Is beyond disrespect. They won't even consider a woman's opinion in certain situations. Like she has no say in her own life. So I don't even want to really talk about other cultures too much because okay, they might
No,
not disrespect. Okay, go ahead.
no, what I'm saying as far as like another culture would not let, if I was to sit up here and call an Arabic woman a bitch, if I was to sit up here and touch an Arabic woman, down talk an Arabic woman, they would be standing outside, all her cousins, her brothers, her uncles, their friends would be posted up outside. That's why I said how they treat them amongst themselves is totally different than how they would allow the world to treat them.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, okay, well, we may treat them like this, but we're not gonna let nobody else treat them like that. And I'm not saying that that's right, but what I'm saying is for our women, for Black women, nobody protects them. The men don't. The men sure as hell don't protect them. You know what I'm saying? And the world does everything that it can to make it as if the Black woman is the worst person in the world. When truth be told, if you do your facts, it's been stated, it's been showed that everything came from a Black woman.
But
that's the fact.
When you say the world will be statement, because world or not, I mean, Black women are not seen like that in other countries, in America and probably like China, the countries that are racist toward the Americans. Black America, well, I'm not even gonna say Black Americans, I'm gonna say America mistreat the Black woman. And on the continent of Africa, there's different countries that are very protective of the Black woman, and there's a lot of tribes that are ran by the Black woman. Ancient years ago, there were like tons of Black women conquerors that was like badass. So I mean, my opinion would be like some dudes in America, outside of the racist people that have always treated the Black woman as less, but we're going to talk about our culture. Those are the men with toxic masculinity. So I mean, everything you said described a man that has toxic masculinity syndrome, where they have this toxic view of life, period, and they're not like in tune with themselves, because they even give a name of a simp to somebody who cares about his wife. That is very toxic. And have an opinion on an outside person, you got to fix your home first before you can even give an opinion on anybody. But as far as the Black woman and Black men, I would just say it's only toxic men, or these men with these hyper masculinity syndromes, where they like, oh, I don't need a woman, or I would rather date outside my race, or the white woman is better than the Black woman, because I don't think it's a lot of Black men that treat their Black women as such. Where'd he go? I can't hear you.
Yeah, he probably lost his signal. I think he's coming back in now. Okay, there he is. But Cami, that was a really, really good point. Casanova, before you chime in, because I know you probably have a lot to say on that, let me just say, she triggered my memory, Cami, you did, about a story that's recently in the news. I believe this is out of Florida. This, I think he was about 27-year-old. Yeah, his name is Christian Baselli. I'm sure I said his last name wrong, but he was stabbed to death by his YT girlfriend, his Caucasian girlfriend. He's a Black male. His name makes me think he's of African descent. But however, he was stabbed to death on April 3rd by his girlfriend. And of course, we want to, submit all this rage and this outrage, and she should be brought to justice if it was an unjust killing. If it wasn't to save her life, if her life was not in jeopardy, and as the story goes, right now it wasn't, but we don't know what's going to come out. Again, she stabbed him to death, and we, as especially Black women, want to rally behind this young man and the way his life ended and calls for justice. However, it has come out a couple of days after his death and his murder that this young man really loathed the Black woman. He tweeted, his social media was so against his own kind, so against the mother that birthed him. And I say that because she is a Black woman. And that he ended up with this opposite than a Black woman that took his life at 27 years old. So are those the same kind of men who say men are simps when a Black man protects his Black woman? Are those the type of men that's saying that, Casanova?
Yeah, those are the type of men that I'm talking about, who just have a disdain for Black women, period. I mean, to me, it's kind of like a self-hate, because it's like, how can you hate where you came from whom you came from? You know, and for me, that's it hurts me more because, you know, well, I have daughters, you know, and so for me I try to set the example of what a father is, or the type of husband they should look for, or the type of men that they should come around. Like, all my daughters, I've never seen pictures of them in booty shorts, twerking, or none of that, right? I've never seen any of that, right? And they know, in order for them to, it's a rite of passage for somebody to date my daughter. I have to meet them. That's just what it is. And they always, if my daddy don't like you, I can't talk to you.
That brings me to, yeah, great point. That brings me to my next question. Because you are a Black woman, do you have a rite of passage? Do you have a rite of passage to be protected no matter who you are and what type of person you present yourself to be in your relationship to others in the world, to your peers, to your coworkers? Just because you're a Black woman, does that mean you better protect me? Am I right and am I wrong? Cammie?
I don't think it's because of color. Sort of, kinda. I don't think like a demanding. It should be demanding. I think it's just given because we have been mistreated for years. Even Malcolm X said the Black woman was the most disrespected and mistreated person in America. So I think because so many people are against the Black woman, that we should be protected, and not like you better protect me, but like a Black man should want to protect his Black queen, his Black woman, period.
Casanova, what you think about that rite of passage protection?
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. I mean, let's just be honest. Again, the whole world tries to imitate Black women. Let's just I'm just gonna throw it out there. I mean, it may sound stereotypical, but you have a lot of cultures
That's true
that look up to the Black woman.
Now they don't
Let's
look
just
up.
be honest.
They don't look up.
What I'm saying as far as like is imitate. They imitate certain things. You know, we're the most imitate, like in a lot of cultures, imitate the Black man as far as like certain characteristics, but in the instance, it's so quick to disrespect or whatever. So to me, yeah, a Black woman, she should be protected. Why she shouldn't? You know, and even in protecting, that's like if I see a sister or a young lady out in the streets acting a fool, right? Protection doesn't mean me standing up for, oh man, you get off of her and this that, if the situation causes for that. But my protection may be saying, maybe I pull her to the side, say, hey, you know, this, that, and this. It may be something I could tell her to correct herself. And if that seed may not even get sown right then and there, but it may be something that I could say to her that'll plant something in her mind, like, dang, you know what, that was kind of messed up. Let me correct myself. Should I just, oh, that ain't my business, you know, like so many of us do. That doesn't pertain to me. That's not my business or anything like that. I'm just not that type of person. I'm just not. Because for me, it is my job as a man to, hey, if you messing up, I'm gonna approach you. I'm gonna put some sugar on the medicine and help it go down easy. That's just what it is. Because as men, we need to start, as black men, we need to start stepping up for our black women. Our sons, we need to teach them to respect women. Our women, especially black women, we need to start teaching them to be providers, right? We need to even start teaching them understanding of spirituality, praying, getting close to God, involving God into your family. These are things that we as men have stepped away from, and it's sorry to say, because we stepped away from it, and the women have stepped up to basically be the fathers and the mothers. And I know it's single fathers out there. I'm one of them. But the majority of single family homes are ran by single mothers, single black mothers. And it's unfortunate, but again, I might get some flack for this, for when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. It's certain things that a woman cannot teach a boy. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that a woman can't teach a boy how to be a man, but there are certain things where that male influence, that positive male influence, is going to be needed.
I agree.
Boys need this. Boys require discipline. They need discipline. They silently ask for discipline from their fathers, because they look to their fathers, to these male role models, to see what it is that a man is supposed to, how a man is supposed to be, how a man is supposed to act around his family, how a man is supposed to act while he's in society.
But that's not discipline.
Huh?
That's not discipline and structure. Like
No,
they need the
no. Boys, when I'm saying boys require discipline, I'm saying I have a friend, and she's trying to figure out. She's like, well, my son is just wild. Whenever I come around, he doesn't act like that with me. Mm-hmm. Because it's certain stuff that he knows that I will and I won't allow. Like, he doesn't talk back to me. I think we may have one incident. He wasn't my kid, but I popped him on his butt because I believe in it. I'm not, your child is not going, I don't care who it is. I will whoop your kids. I don't, that's how I am. If your child acts up in front of me, I'm old school. I would chastise your child, but I'm going to do it in love. But from that one instance, never had a problem ever again. And when he see me, he loved me like I'm his daddy. And I could just say, hey, come on, tighten up. He'll tighten it up. Because that's what we the same in his eyes. I'm just a bigger boy. We play together and everything else. When I see him, he like my little, oh, I love you. This is my Jason. That's what he say.
Yeah. Casanova, I want to go back to what you were saying in the beginning. One of the points you brought up is how women are in videos half naked, and something you said about the video vixens. Some of those girls, like I have a personal experience. I was kind of involved, or I was at least right there on set when a video was being shot recently. It's called Moss Video. It's by KT, the Arts Degree. And he's like trapping sea moss, you know, instead of cocaine. That's what the whole video is about. Again, it's about sea moss, and you can come up and live a fantastic life by promoting things that's going to help the people with their health and wellness. So in the video, I'm going to link it because it's really a good video. It comes on with the girls in the trap house with all the plants and the sea moss, making up the sea moss and things like that. And they're dressed in lingerie in very seductive clothing. Their butts are out. I know personally that most of those girls have their own businesses. Like one of the girls in that video, her name is Thick Overload, and she actually has a really huge company, a basketball team called Buns and Basketball that travels around the country. And she has built that company up to be great. And when she was the first one that got on set, first of the girls, very professional, very focused. It wasn't all of that. So I just want us to know, just because we see these girls on these video sometimes like that, we can't stereotype them. I'm sure there are stereotypes to be made, but again, my experience with these girls on this particular video set was like I thought they was going to be wilding out all over the artists and all, you know, but they wasn't. Very professional girls, beautiful girls. They were just presented as such visually. But again, I think we get
the issue
wrapped up in a lot of stereotypes, and we got to take a situation at hand. We just can't group all situations together. And I'll go back to Jada and Will Smith situation. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is so in order for him to sell his product, right, he has to display a black woman like a piece of meat in order for him to this. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's fine. Well, I'm a father. If that was my daughters would never be in a video like that. They would never be in, whether they professional, business women, whatever, they would never be in the video where they shaking and twerking and all that. Especially if it's something that they know that I'll see.
Okay, let me interrupt right there. Okay, wait, Casanova, I got to interrupt right quick. So in this video, the girls wasn't being used to sell the sea moss. The sea moss sold itself. When the owner, the artist of the owner of the sea moss, when he was moving it with his boy, the girls weren't nowhere around, but they was just working in the production lab, getting it together, you know, boxing it up, packaging it. They wasn't out. They wasn't the face of the company to sell the sea moss. So their bodies and their images was not used to sell the sea moss. So go ahead.
Well, how were they dressed?
Like I said, they were dressed.
How were they dressed?
Lingerie, heels, fishnets.
So I'm sorry. If I was to watch that video, I'm not thinking about no damn sea moss. What I'm saying is that's why I'm saying, because you're saying that that's okay for them to promote it like that. They may not be the face of the company. The company is using them in a way.
No, it was a play off of. It was a play off of.
In a degrading way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, some people can look at it like that. I didn't. I understand where you're coming from, where your mindset is with it, but I know I was there firsthand, and I know that's not what it was. And I think until you really can watch the video, you may still have that same conclusion that you have now. But I challenge you to watch the video and then, you know, come from there, because I know it wasn't about the girls in their physical display. I know that's not what it was about. But anyways, I just want to make that reference that we cannot say because we see a girl in a video that's what she's about, because these women were business women and own companies.
But I also want to say something. I want to piggyback off of that, because anytime a Black woman is in a video and she's dressed like that, she's being overly sexualized. But if a woman has on lingerie or just like that in or any other nationality that is not of brown skin and voluptuous body, they're sexy. They're considered sexy, and it's like, okay, that's the poster child. But black women are degraded, and then they go out and they the other cultures, they go out and they mimic the body. They go get it altered and get fake.
BBL.
But they're not talked about. They're not talked about. They're like held on a pedestal because they copied our bodies. But when we, when we just being natural,
when we display our natural self, we're degrading ourselves. And some women probably are degrading themselves. Yeah. But for the most part, if we do it, we're side-eyed. Like she said, if other cultures do it, they're praised and they put on a pedestal and they went and paid for it.
Exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying is, and this just goes back to what I was saying, as far as like, it's okay for that type of degradation amongst our women, where it's like, well, it's okay if she throwing this out there and you know that it's about the sea moss, right? But if I'm just somebody who just flicking through it, I might be like, damn, she thick. Then, you know what I'm saying? Again, why does that have to be the constant image of our women? I get what you're saying. However, it's a derogatory image. I'm a father. Okay, I'm a father. I'm gonna be honest. I would hate to see a video with my daughter like that. And any father, any man that could sit up here and say that they would love to see their daughter doing a video in lingerie or whatever, it's something wrong with that, man. So
yeah, I'm sure to make some fathers uncomfortable. So I get that. But again, speaking on this particular video,
what's the video? I'm about to pull it up.
Moss. You have to go to Abelardo Guerrero's channel to see it, because YouTube took it down from the artist channel, but it's up on, I think it's Abelardo, Guerrero, Guerrero, and it's called Moss. So while you're pulling it up, what I do want to say about the video, it was a play on a few things. The message is about the sea moss and what's going on with the jab and the carnation 19 right now. That's really what it is all about. The play with the girls in the lab is like when you have a trap house, when you have a drug house, you have the girls in there. Most of the time, from what we've seen on TV, they're totally naked.
Come on now. I'm watching this video right now.
But right. It's because because of germs, right? They want it to be clean.
They want to be clean and make sure they don't steal anything.
Look, okay.
You're not, but Casanova, you're not even reading the caption, are you? You're just looking at the images of the girl.
Right. I'm not, because the thing of it is, Jackie, what I'm saying is, as I ain't thinking about no damn sea moss, I'm looking at.
Well, in the first 45 seconds, you probably not. But that's not the whole message, yeah.
And
that's not the whole video.
Yeah, but what you're saying is, that that's not.
I'm saying you can't stereotype those type of women, those women that be in these videos. Period. That's my point.
What I'm saying is, okay, if this is how if this is sea moss, okay, I will buy a couple if I could. This
bam.
What I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if this was any one of my daughters, we would have a problem.
I understand.
What I'm saying, it goes back to what I said initially. Regardless of what you may say or try to sugarcoat it, this is disrespectful. Seriously. And this is and it's sad, because this has become okay.
I think, listen, no, Casanova, listen. I
get it.
I think if that woman is comfortable with herself to do that video and to present herself as such, I don't think it's only disrespect if she feels the disrespect.
No, because look, let me explain something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this has always been an issue. If a woman wears a certain outfit and she's treated a certain way on the street, then it's, oh, I don't know why they treated me like this and like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in every video or on every show that you see a woman dressed this type of way, it's not a woman that's demanding respect.
Well,
These women are seen as objects of pleasure.
let me
Okay,
ask
these
that.
women are seen, they're not even seen as women. They're
That's crazy.
seen as objects, pieces of meat, and they're
That's crazy.
disrespected, and that's the psyche. And I understand you may say, well, you got to be able to separate the two, but a lot of people don't.
But
And
no,
what you
what gives
see,
you the
huh?
right? What gives you the right to treat a woman a certain way because of the way she dressed?
Okay, my point
That's
exactly.
on the person
My
because
point exactly. However,
it could be hot
okay,
outside. She got on little shorts, little shirt because it's hot. That's what she want to wear. It's what she want to wear. Just because she want to dress that way doesn't mean that you have to be treated a certain way.
okay,
Now,
I get that.
of that person,
I
we
get
a
that.
person is not responsible for somebody else's character. So
No,
again, a woman say,
but we
"Why?"
are. We
That
are
doesn't mean
responsible for it.
she's respecting
We
herself.
no, look. This is what I'm saying. I agree with what you're saying. However, what's being programmed from what's being seen is if a woman dresses like this, or if a woman wears this, then she's, she's a hoe. She's the freak. She's a this, she's a that. This is the programming.
Of,
I'm not sitting up here saying,
but
I'm not
of
sitting up here
black,
saying that.
no, but listen, of the black woman only, because you could take a black woman and you could take a white woman. They can have on the same thing: short shorts, little shirt. Black woman gonna be talked about. White woman won't. So that's like programming.
But that's
Right.
what I
And
said.
again, it goes back to consider the source.
That's
It's
what I'm
your own
saying. It's the
mindset.
programming.
Exactly.
It's the programming, and it's being programmed from an early age. It's in the music, it's in the TV, everywhere you look. And I love black. Y'all know I
So
love me a black
you
woman.
you have allowed that programming to dictate your views from what you just said, Casanova. You have allowed that programming that you're talked about that's everywhere to dictate, because you just said you looked at that video and that you know what I
I'm a
mean?
man. I'm not even going.
Yeah.
I looked at the video.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even made it past the first thing because I'm like, I ain't think about no sea moss. I'm
Control,
saying what I'm saying is
control your
what I'm
thoughts.
saying is the programming.
Control your
That's what
thoughts.
I'm saying. Looking at that video,
You're a victim
I'm
of
not
that,
thinking about,
unfortunately.
oh, I wonder if she got a college degree. I wonder if she
Right.
got a business.
But see, you've
I ain't think
allowed that programming to dictate your
look,
views. You
I
have.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I haven't allowed anything. What I'm saying is that is the programming. If a woman should be able to wear what she wants to wear, and I go with what Cam said. If a black woman and a white woman wore the same outfit, the black woman is considered a hoe. She's looked down upon. But why is she looked down upon and the white woman is? It's because that's how society is programming us to look at our women with disrespect. We look down on them. Did you see the case study about the girl with the black with the dials? Have y'all seen that?
No.
Where they had all these dials of different colors, and the little girl was like, they picked the white baby doll because they said that the black baby doll was ugly. But that is the same programming that is still going on to this day.
But listen, just because those people have programmed people or put this in the head that the black woman is ugly and she should be like lower than anything, it needs to start in our own backyard with our own people. It has to start. You can't just keep talking about this is this is this, this is this. Talk about how you look at the black woman, how you respect and
start with the man in the mirror.
Start with you. Start with self, and it will trickle on down to others because it's already started. It's so many out here that I see on TikTok alone who sit up and hold black women on a pedestal. I mean, it's so many. so many on YouTube. It's a lot. But the media is not showing that. The media only shows the negative. They only show these toxic masculine out here talking about, what can a black woman bring to the table, or which is dumb. That's the dumbest, most toxic thing I ever heard in life. Because when somebody has something that you want, you're not with them for, what
The
can
black
she do?
woman should bring something to the table.
Hold on, no. That's,
Yes.
first of all,
No,
Should.
we're gonna talk about this.
Let-
This is
let me finish. If you're
Go ahead.
interested in a woman, it will be shown. It shouldn't be asked. You should see it. That's called a microwavable thing, for you to sit up here and say what you bring to the table, because somebody can make up anything and show you something totally different. That's the most toxic thing I ever heard, and I hate that. I hate that more than I hate be my ride or die. Yeah, you want me to die for you.
No, we ain't doing that.
What are you gonna do for me? That's so toxic. See, our people are being misled out here with these toxic stands in this toxic masculinity, and it's driving me crazy when I hear this and hear people fall in line. What can you bring to the table? Our forefathers weren't like that. Our forefathers didn't pick out our grandmoms or our great grandmas and say, what can she bring? It wasn't like that. Let's go back to the structure that we once had before we were colonized. And everybody talking about, like even you talking about why. Let's do instead of saying why. Let's show instead of looking for questions on why.
Can't wait, Casanova. Cameron, you made a good point that toxic things that people say, that men say, or that women may say. One of my pet peeves is, don't tell me you love me to death.
Thank you.
Do not love me to don't tell me you love me to death, and do not love me to death.
That's a warning.
That's a warning. That's a warning. Run, Forrest, run. Warning.
That's a warning.
Life. Don't love me to death. That is a red flag. You're right, Jackie. Flag on the play.
Yeah, run.
But don't do that. Yeah, I'll do that ride or die. I'm like,
that ride or die.
I'm not. I don't do that ride or die.
Oh
but
my
like picking back off what you said, Cam. I mean, I'm a strong believer in if a man is like, if we're in a household together and I'm the man, if I'm supposed to lead as a man, then I lead as a man. How I was raised, and I know a lot of people say, well, it's different times, we're not making the same amount of money that we used to make before and everything like that. And they'll say that. However, how I was raised is when a man gets involved with a woman in a relationship, and let's say we move together, okay, I should still be able to sustain my household with you in it, right? Mm-hmm. Without you having to contribute. This is how I was raised, because it shouldn't be that much of a difference, right? And if I can't sustain that household properly, then yeah, I may say, hey, babe, I might need a little help with this, but it's not a requirement for you or for my lady to sit up here and have to pay bills or pay rent. Now, as far as like, if it's your car note or something like that, if you say, well, baby, I want to drive this Mercedes Benz, and I'm like, well, if you got Benz money, go right ahead, but I'm gonna make sure that the necessities and the needs is taken care of, right? Because it's this, well, we got to go 50-50. My wife got to help me with half of the bills. If that's how y'all relationship is, but understand, when you put a woman in that position, you can't lead because you're not in a position to lead.
Another toxic saying, 50-50. That's toxic. I don't want half.
That's what I'm saying.
Give me 100%, and I'm gonna give you 100%. Don't give me 50.
Exactly.
Right. Why does it have to be a measurement against each other? You just be your best. You just give your best and your 100%, and he do the same. And I think that's a great working relationship. But to sit up there, okay, so let's earn this out and write it down. Okay, that's gonna be your 25%. I'll take 12%. That's just diluting both of you. Just be your best and give what you need to give to make that relationship productive, loving, enduring, lasting. respectful. Right quick, you guys say hi to Destiny Reed. I like to give when anybody come in on my little live, and they could be doing anything. I like to acknowledge them. So we appreciate her being here. But
we got a song about you.
You got a song about Destiny?
Yeah, you heard it.
You played me so many songs. Which one was the Destiny song?
The one you was like that one right there.
Oh,
I could just see people that gotta be my destiny. Remember that one?
Oh yeah, you sure
Yeah.
did. Gotta be my Destiny. Okay, yeah. When you releasing that one to the public, sir?
I actually just got off the phone with my engineer, so it'll be coming like I'm gonna re-record it because when I recorded, I had COVID, so I couldn't.
So, you need to re-record it, yeah. All right, Destiny, he got a song coming out with your namesake.
Yeah.
But let me just do this, be the angel's advocate. So, y'all know I was gonna bring this up. Will and Jada. I think I know where everybody stand on that situation. It's been shown publicly, we can assume she has some narcissistic behaviors in her marriage, whether she's a narcissist or not, but her behaviors publicly have shown and have kind of made us speak on their situation, their marriage, their relationship, and especially the slap heard around the world. There are things that, I've known about them, I've seen publicly over the years that has come back to the forefront. One of them is the situation when she just put her camera in Will's face in the privacy of their home, and Will kind of told her, I'm at home. You can't use me to build your Red Table brand, basically. I want to play that. And again, I'm bringing this up to say, was it worth Will impeding on everything he's built over the years and the image that he's portrayed to protect her, as people want to say that's what that was about, him protecting her? You guys know that I don't believe that was about him protecting her. I think that was about him protecting himself. But let me try to play this little 1-minute clip right quick. Let's see if it'll come on. So you guys will know what I'm talking about. So it did not play. Let me try it again. Can you guys hear that?
I can't see it or hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see it or hear it. Are you sharing your screen?
Hold on. I thought I was. Let's see. Let me do it again. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen, Casanova, but it's just not working for some reason. Hold on. It looks like it's thinking.
She's going to be at the Red Table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Astaire, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch Astaire at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell? You know, Esther Perel is coming to the table.
So hold on, guys. Let me take this off. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I didn't play that or bring that up because every marriage, every relationship has their problems or their little disagreements. The big picture about that little clip is just the seemingly blatant disrespect and that she has for her husband, because he clearly was uncomfortable with her throwing the camera in his face in the privacy of his own home without asking. She just can't think she has the right to use his brand or use his name because she's married to him in that aspect to build up hers. And also, he asked her not to do that, but the clip got out anyways. That was clearly her camera in her possession. How do we now have that clip? Like, she totally just disregarded his feelings and what he wanted. And now we all got that clip that he told her clearly not to film him in his home. So again, I'm bringing that up. Like, when do we as women uphold our man? Like, we're talking about protecting the Black woman, X, Y, and Z, but you know, that have to be reciprocated out of respect and love and honor.
I mean, I agree with you also. It does go both ways. A lot of times, well, I've heard a lot of toxic females call men, Black men, simps, like they do Will, and just call them weak or saying I need a masculine man, when a man has balance of divine feminine and divine masculinity, where it's dual, like it's 50-50.
Hey, Cam, can I say something? Don't be taking my stuff without asking me. We talked about this.
Divine feminine.
Hey, I'm about to do a Will Smith. Don't be taking my stuff.
You don't even try it.
We had that conversation now.
We both at a level.
Okay, Jada.
It is true, though. A lot of, like, as he see men talk about women or downgrade women, I see women downgrade men. So a lot of times men do deal with a lot of these toxic women, as well as the roles can be reversed, who don't uphold them, who don't give them the room to open up and be to be open, where they have where they're able to discuss their mental issues or things that's really on their mind, and reaching out to their partner for help. A lot of women, like Jada, shut them down or impose their own ways on them, where they're like, I don't know this lady, I'm not judging this lady. From the outside looking in, I look at her as a toxic female, a female with narcissistic personality disorders, and she just seems like she just toxic to me. So we'll say that, or something in the media came out that he was like, he should have never divorced his first wife. He had a first wife who treated him different than Jada. So yeah, I think women, Black women, that's what we're talking about here, should definitely uphold, like, be there and be that shoulder for their Black men and take up.
I don't know too much about his first wife, except for, you know, that relationship yielded them a son, Trey. But I will say, you know, Betty Wright made a song called Clean Up Woman. Like, there are some women out here that are clean that mess up. Like, again, like you said, Cammie, I'm not in their home. I'm not directly in their relationship, but seemingly she just doesn't have the love, the unconditional love for her husband to protect his mind and his spirit and his whole self. Like, for you to sit at your red table talk and said, I cried walking down the aisle when I married you, not like, oh, I'm marrying my Prince Charming, my godson, I'm in love. She did not want to get married to him. She admitted that.
Okay, wait, time out.
What?
That is
Go ahead.
not what happened.
That's what?
That is not what she was crying when she was walking down the aisle because they did not want a big wedding. She was pregnant, for one. When they got married, she was pregnant. She was having problems with she didn't want to get married with a whole bunch of people around her, and she's pregnant like that. And that wasn't something that her and Will wanted either. They wanted to be married, but they didn't want it. That was something that her mother wanted them to have the big wedding and everything like that. I read the article, and that's what I say. People get bits and pieces of stuff, and in the article, it said exactly what they wanted to get married. They didn't want the wedding. That's why she was crying, because one, she was in pain. It was a complicated pregnancy.
But
walking down the aisle. But I'm just saying that was the article.
But it was red table you're referring to, right, Jada? I mean, Jay. She said on national TV, out of her mouth.
I didn't read the article, Casanova, but I saw the red table talk. You're right. I think the big wedding presentation was Gammy's idea. However, she said, I was never a woman that wanted to get married. That was out of her own mouth. And in that same red table conversation, I kind of understand what she was saying on this part, but it was still a slap publicly in her husband's face, where after her 37th birthday, Will spent 3 years. He got a documentary team, a whole team to research her lineage, her background, her family history, to present her with this amazing 40th birthday party. And he saw his wife was going through something and he wanted to bring her out of that or help her with whatever. So 3 years he spent, but the way she told him how disappointed she was, to me, was a slap in his face again. She said that was the biggest display of his ego, and it wasn't for her. But in that, I can kind of see maybe he's used to the fortune, the fame, all the people around. So I can kind of see what she was saying. But the way she presented that to him publicly like that, and how it was to really like punch him in the chest with it, like that wasn't for me, that was for you.
But let me say this. If you're in a marriage, you still have your privacy. And there's still certain things that you, I mean, even in relationships. Okay. And I'm gonna piggyback. I'm gonna go back to the film, because I mean, but in relationships, okay. For him, that may have been like, yes, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna surprise her, and she's gonna be this way, and she's just gonna love it. But if you're going through something, right? If you're going through something, I may not want it to be displayed to the whole world. Does that make me wrong? Like if I'm going through a depressive state and you're my mate, maybe what you can do is sit down and talk to me, or ease me through it, instead of putting everything out there for everybody to see. Oh, I'm about to do this and I'm about to do that. In a way, that was kind of his ego. I mean, I see the beauty of it, but it just, we don't really know what the situation was that she was going through.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
How is that ridiculous?
If my husband want to surprise me with that, period, and her whatever, because evidently it was a conversation. How does that have?
How was it a conversation if he surprised her?
If
she didn't know.
No, I'm saying a conversation in their past about her wanting to know her lineage. Period. Where she come from. It had to come from somewhere.
Okay, but and I get that. I get that. I get that. I get what you're saying, but maybe it was something that she wanted to know. Maybe it was something that they could have did in private.
Let me finish. No, what she could have did was tell him in private that was something she wasn't interested in. Why do you have to take to the camera? She always knocking him down on camera from what I'm seeing. Like, I'm a woman seeing this. Period, point blank.
Okay,
I don't
and
see.
and
I
I'm a
don't
man
see.
saying it.
Let me finish. I don't see anything when he's on camera of him knocking her down. I don't see him doing that. I seen the hurt in his eyes when they whatever in arrangement they had, he was still hurt, and you could see it in his eyes when she said entanglement, like she worded it a certain way. I mean, they living. She's turning everything around in the public eye to go for her brand and her red table talk. That's how I
Yes, we
see
can
it.
agree. She could be a bitch sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. Singular
I
television.
agree with that. But what I'm saying,
He's
what I'm
definitely
saying is,
right.
I get what y'all are saying. I can see it, but what I'm saying, I take the BS out of it. I try to put the humanity in it, and that's what I always say. I put the
There's
humanity in
nothing humane
situations.
about the way
It may be because it may have been. She may not have wanted. She may have wanted to. I mean, it's certain things that I want to know. Certain things that I confide in with my mate about things. However, I may say, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't. I may not want it on a big platform. Maybe she's saying like, okay, that was beautiful, but why did you have to make it to where it's like all these people in such a private moment?
Well,
You
why
see what
did
I'm
she
saying? And I'm not, listen, hold on, wait, listen. What I'm saying is him doing that, that's fine. Do that for your wife.
A
But
birthday is not a private moment. Come on.
that
Nine
wait,
times out of
that is
10 is
that
not.
is not true.
Birthdays are usually
No, that
celebrated.
is no, that is not true. That's your personal opinion. That is your personal opinion.
But let me ask
Because
you,
I
why
know plenty of people who
he have,
don't.
why did
That's
he
just
And I
have,
like
know plenty of
a
people who
wedding.
does.
That's just like a wedding. Some people don't want a big wedding. Some people don't want, like me. Sometimes I don't want to
That's
spend my
true.
birthday with a bunch of people. Sometimes I may just want to spend my birthday with my kids and my family. Or maybe I just want to spend it by, it just depends on the mood. And I think that's what a lot of people are they're not looking at. It's like we see these people on we see these people, these actors, and we seem to forget that they're people. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying how Jada treats Will will make her wife of the year. Okay. And we don't know exactly what it is that Will may be doing to irritate her.
Well,
Let's just
I'm
be
sure if
honest.
he was doing something to irritate her, she would tell it because she don't have a problem with telling their business. If he was doing something that horrible for her to constantly disrespect her husband publicly, and to go back to that particular red table
But
talk, let me finish, Casanova. To go back to that, it's not even about the context or the content of that conversation. It's about, you're right, we don't know because she haven't said anything if he is doing it. But the content or the context of that particular conversation really shows that she is a narcissist because she did not care how Will felt publicly when she said what she said in the way she said what she said. For her to tell him that was the biggest display of your ego, like that was not for me, that was all for you, I did not. The look on her face was really trying to drive it, that hammer into that nail in a very negative way. It wasn't, honey, that wasn't, I really did not want to be displayed like that. I didn't want to be in a, everybody's eye shot that night. I wish you would have talked to me.
Maybe she told him that. Maybe she told him that at that point in time. But we don't know what went on at that. I didn't see it.
We know or not. It's about her.
We don't know what went on at that time. But
it's not about that. She's always gut punching him in the public eye.
Just like that video clip I just showed. He clearly told her no. But
you telling me it's never been a time that you antagonized your husband or your boyfriend, that you intentionally antagonized them, that you just been like
public eye?
You telling me that it has never been a time where you have did something purposely to antagonize the person that you were dating? That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that you have never
hold on.
done anything to purposely antagonize or irritate, because I know that I've done some things just to irritate
In
somebody that I
public
was with
to
because they got on my
hurt
nerves.
him?
Issue. You dancing around the issue. The issue we're talking about
If you
is
sound that you
no,
haven't, then
no,
I gotta end this conversation
no.
because
In
you're telling me
public,
that
in public to hurt him?
Dancing around.
No.
You keep dancing around. It's okay for if Will do something big for his ego. So you talking? No, listen. Let me
No.
finish. Let me finish.
No.
But when we're constantly giving you reason, I mean, times when she have antagonized, when she have gut punched him in the public eye, which should be private, you don't talk on it.
You said I don't talk on it. It's not that I don't talk on it. What I'm saying is this. Anything that they do, that they put out in public, okay, you have to understand. Again, these are they're actors. I understand the humanity of it. Okay, I understand they're actors. This is what they live their life this way. I understand that. What I'm saying is that we don't know what may have put her in that mindset.
It's no
mindset. I don't know. The only thing we're seeing the end results. We're seeing the end results. We're seeing the end results of whatever done transpired throughout their marriage.
But
we're seeing what they want us to see.
You should never embarrass your spouse in the public eye. Keep your stuff private, and she don't do anything but embarrass her spouse in the public eye. That is narcissistic. Period.
But he allows it though.
Tear down his brand to build up hers.
But he allows it.
He's not gonna put their stuff on the public display. He's not gonna do it. He haven't did it.
Have you read his book?
No, don't even care. I don't read books of no.
So you haven't read his autobiography?
No,
I can't read it. I'm not even interested.
I read it. I read Will's autobiography. Okay.
I've heard about it.
Huh?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, I read it. That's why I say, you would have to actually read it to like get an understanding of Will as a person and as an individual. Because that's why I say what you're looking at, I mean, I'm not agreeing and saying that what she's doing is right. However, and I'm going to push this brother book because he says a lot of the thing is he knows who he is. Okay. And the thing about Will Smith, he's that's the lifestyle that's his upbringing. His whole childhood has been nothing but abuse.
And do you think his wife may take that for granted? Do you think she may, because she knows his story better than any of us, better than I'm sure his autobiography is telling us?
But understand, he couldn't have, like, for him to try to be in a normal relationship, like Will, for me, and this is why I keep saying we don't know everything that's going on. Like even with that smack, yeah, I know he did it for his wife, but I also say that was his cry for help. If you read, and that made me go read the book. I'm not even gonna lie, it made me go read the book, and I'm like, dang, he's been in these situations where he's been abused, where he's seen abuse and been a part of it, and he talks about it strongly in this book. So for him to, if his wife was this amazing woman and his previous wife was this amazing woman and did all these things, that's not normal to him. He can't function. Certain people who've been abused cannot function in a normal, loving relationship because it's foreign. If you've been in that, and I'm not saying that that's right. Yeah, Will has Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, that's right. But that's what I'm saying. This is all he's known his whole life is he's seen his mother abused. Father's an alcoholic. All these horrible things, and he made light of it. You know what I'm saying? He brushed it off. He talks about it deeply in this book. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying what she's doing is right, but I understand the situation. I understand it a little bit better than what I did before.
It's not meant to understand because I have opinion based off of lifestyle.
That's fine. We all.
she's just not a good person. Period. Like that's what I say. I don't feel like she's a good person. So whatever.
And Casanova really just brought it all full circle, because if that's what he was dealing with coming up and up to the point he met her at various times in his life, and now he has this person who does not support him. I mean, you can say you're not in their house, you don't know. You're right, I'm not, but I do know what I seen publicly. I do know approximately a week after the slap, she goes on and say that she did not need his protection and he shouldn't have done that.
That wasn't
it
her.
Wasn't her.
No, that was her.
That was who? Publicist. Well, my publicist ass would have been chewed out if that was not my view of my husband. My publicist would not have had the right to say that. Like, and he would have publicly got fired and his butt would have been chewed out. Mm-hmm. She should have stepped, if that was her publicist speaking and not her, she should have stepped in front of that after that statement was made that was, as you're saying, not of her, and dead at that. But right now, that's what we only can go by, is what has been presented to us. And I kind of believe that statement came from her, again, from what she has shown us, how she does with her husband. Jada has been disrespecting Will for years. She always throw Tupac in his face. Maybe he feels by slapping Chris, Jada would stop throwing Tupac in her face and truly love him. Yeah, he did walk up on that stage. I kind of agree with Destiny. It was a lot in that moment that he decided to walk up on that stage and do that. He may have wanted to show he got some thug in him and some street in him and some hood in him and some fight in him. So she would adore him and reverence him in a way such as Tupac.
That's a possibility, but I think a lot of people don't got this history with her and Tupac kind of messed up, because again, even when Tupac died, he wasn't with Jada.
But that's her narrative. That's how Jada is playing it. It's not that the people got it mixed up. It's how she's playing it.
Let me say this, guys. I am so sorry to interrupt. Let me say this. I was married with my husband for over 20 some years. We do have a daughter. If our 11-year-old daughter would have sat down and wrote a letter to my ex, whether he was dead or alive, and say, please come back. I know you're not. Okay, let's say he was dead. Please come back. I know you're not dead. You will make mommy and me happy. Whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but I do have a copy of the letter that Willow wrote. What? So she's 11. Listen, she wasn't even born before Tupac had passed. So to write that type of letter, that some things that she's getting from her own mother about her mother's husband, which is her dad, and her mother's ex, whoever she say Tupac was to her. That is another slap in Will's face. That is like the ultimate. For my daughter.
What would make an 11-year-old daughter? And this is what I'm saying as far as like, and when I'm saying that, again, it poses questions. Well, what is it that Will is doing? Because obviously it's something that we're not seeing. I'm sorry. Because look, let me explain something to you. A daughter, the first man that a woman loves, that any woman loves, is her daddy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So obviously, if it's for her to write that letter, that's why I say it's more going on. It has to be more going on than what we know, because there's been times where I may have been doing whatever and I might not have seen my daughters.
I disagree.
But the minute I come up, they still love their daddy. They still call their daddy.
Casanova, if it was Will, I'm sorry, if it was Will that had done something to provoke this letter from his 11-year-old daughter, then why was the narrative of the letter come back, Tupac, and make mommy and me happy?
The key
word. Why did she write that letter to anybody else?
You're focusing on the mommy part. I'm not thinking about mommy.
She didn't say Tupac come back and make daddy and I happy.
Why would she say mommy and me?
let me
So
tell you.
obviously, we already know Will and Jada, their relationship. We already know Will and Jada's relationship has been a rocky one from the start.
Let me
But
say,
obviously, for a daughter, and this is just me as a father, to sit up here and turn on her father like that, it has to be something going on that we don't know.
Yeah, she see her mommy not happy because she married the man. She settled for a man that could give her a great life, her and her children.
She got
And
married because
I think she
Tupac
loves
wasn't
her
gonna marry her.
husband, but I don't think she's in love with
Tupac
her
was not
husband.
going to marry her.
We know that he would. I don't think he would have ever married Jada.
Let me say something. Let me say something.
Tupac was in the very long relationship with Quincy Jones' daughter.
That don't even matter. The thing is, the letter was written, and it's not because.
But that's what I'm saying.
It didn't mean that Will had to be doing something or something is not right with.
That's not true.
That's
what you wanted to. That's what you wanted to be. But the fact of the matter is that we don't know.
I was telling you why I disagree. Okay, now that I disagree with you because of that. I mean, your statement, because first of all, Jada is very dominant. Jada has been portraying to the media for years that she had this special love affair with Tupac. She have even linked letters or something from Tupac and her, like their yearbook. I mean, she have leaked so many things to portray pictures and everything that they had this special love affair. So if I'm a daughter and I'm real close to my mom and I'm seeing this, that she put, this is how she's playing the narrative that, okay, yeah, I want my mommy to be happy, regardless of what hurt. She is probably sitting there with her mom and her mom is manipulating the situation. So it can be all types of things that's going on. But since we've been talking about this Will thing, you actually have something against Will Smith because you have not said anything positive about that man. We don't know these people, but you have
always said anything positive about Will Smith.
This narcissistic woman, which is Jada.
I haven't said anything positive about Will. Really?
No.
I haven't.
Wow.
You haven't.
That's not true.
You just
That's
said
not true. I just sat up here and said after that whole incident, I read his book, and what I said was that Will needs help.
You was just empathizing with his story. You didn't say anything personally nice about him. You were just empathizing with his story.
To say something nice, I mean, what is there to say nice about him? I mean, he got a bunch of money.
What's there to say nice about Jada?
I just said up and to sit up here and say that I didn't say anything nice about him. That is the furthest thing from the truth, because on the last podcast that we did, I said that he is a husband, he is a father that takes care of his wife and his kids. He provides. He's the ideal black man. Those are the things that I said. I never said anything bad about Will. I even said I understand why he did the slap because of the type of man that he is. That's not me speaking anything bad about him. I've never. You just said up here. Let me defend myself because you just said up here and said that I'm against Will Smith. I am not against.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant during this podcast.
Huh?
I apologize because I did agree with that.
I am not against Will Smith. I am a strong. I stand by a lot of things that Will Smith does. However, in reading that book, I understand that everything ain't always what it seems, And even when I seen that letter, it posed some questions like, well, it's more going on than what we see.
Let me say this, Casanova.
I'm not saying that Jada's not narcissistic. I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she's not abusive. I'm not saying that either.
Let me just say this. Let me make a point with what you're saying. So you're saying, you're referencing that maybe Will did something to provoke Willow to write that letter. How come it just cannot simply be, and from that letter, I believe this is fact. If my ex-husband and I had separated when our children were minors.
Okay, real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick. And this is just how I always am. I do not deal in what ifs or hypotheticals. What I'm saying is, what I got from that letter is there's more. We do not know what's going on in that household.
But you already said that. I wanted to hear what she had to say. Like, let me hear what Jackie had to say.
I won't. No, I'm just saying. Because everybody is always saying, "Well, if this and that." What I'm saying,
I gotta be hypothetical with this situation. Casanova, I gotta be hypothetical because I'm not in that. I'm not in that household, so I can't specifically say what has happened. So I have. We're speaking on. We're all speaking on our own views of it because we don't know. So hypothetically, this is the situation. So I'll just say realistically, I do know people who has children who have really put in their kids' head that their daddy ain't SHIT. And the daddy has not done anything to deserve that, but that has been embedded by women who want some type of control, who's not happy, or for whatever reason have put this in this kid's head. And this kid looking at their daddy when he do come around, she finally do let him come around after so many years of keeping him back. And they looking like, you old demon, you old devil, you ain't this, you ain't that,
but
you did this.
Know that for sure.
So
I don't. Said that,
I don't.
You don't. And so again,
but
that's
I
why
do know.
You're going
I do see the results. I do see some evidence coming out that house that is probably like that. I do see some evidence that Jada probably has set her daughter down and talked to her and told her who she really loved, who she wished she could have been with, and that is how she would be happy at that time. I do believe she has given her daughter those conversations because you can see they have a very open relationship and they can talk about anything. And I don't think that just started with Red Table. I think she's always parented like that. Like to be very open with her children and tell them her deepest and most intimate thoughts and feelings, even when they were 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because I'm not in that household. The only thing I'm saying is, it's for me. It's just not enough. It's not enough because I'm not there. So that's why I went and read the book to try to get a understanding of Will.
Yeah,
you know, that's why I went. That's why I went and read the book. And you have to, and again, people who've been abused subconsciously, they do things that it may seem right. So we don't know exactly what's going. That's why I'm like, ever since the conversation started, y'all have been hammering on Jada where she ain't this and she ain't that and she ain't this. I don't know the woman personally enough to say anything about it, but all I can say is from what I see. Can I sit up here and say that I agree with the things that she's doing to her husband? No, I don't agree with it at all. Stop man bash, you can't.
Exactly.
all I'm saying is that I don't see is that, from my opinion, if the marriage was as bad as we want it to be, regardless of whatever, they're still married. They're still working through their issues. So obviously he's okay with it. And if he's okay with it, who am I to sit up here and say, well, he wrong and he should leave? When he decides he should leave, that's fine. But it's not mine to say. If that's where he's happy at, that is his wife. It's not my wife. It's not your husband. That's their situation. And we can sit up here and have opinions on it all we want. But I'm not gonna sit up here. I'm not gonna sit up here and hate his wife for how she treats him, because
I don't hate Jada.
Who's to say? Maybe Will was because Will used to see his mother get beat. Maybe he beat his wife.
Casanova.
Maybe he attacked Jada and we don't know about it.
Casanova. Okay, let me speak on this. First of all, you have been around the world. You have went all around the world. 360, period. First, you talked about, Jada. Will went through some pain. Now we're back around the world till you don't know. It's not your, he with her. They still happy. Whatever. That was not the conversation.
You said I went around the world with Jada.
Around the world. It was. We've been
what I said with Jada. I said, do I agree with her actions? No, I do not. I didn't go around the world with Jada. What I said was, y'all have been attacking this woman as if y'all know her publicly. Like y'all got like this time. I don't know this woman enough to
let's see, because you talk and you talk around. We have not attacked Jada. We just going out for what we seen. One. Okay.
Y'all haven't attacked her.
No, let me finish.
Really?
We're talking about what we see in the public. Okay, that's what we were speaking about. It's coming from our eyes looking in. We didn't say nothing about what's real. Like Jay said, hypothetically speaking. That's what we said. Now you're saying I'm not in there imagining they together.
If they're still together, who are we to say that they're wrong? That's our opinion, and we are entitled to that. But the fact remains, they are still married.
But nobody even questioned them being together. That's a whole nother topic. I got my opinions on that. But
the thing everybody sits up here and says she's wrong, and this, that, and this. I will not do my husband like this and like. What y'all are missing is, if they're still married, obviously Will doesn't have a problem with it.
Casanova. Okay. We're talking about
how am I going all the way around?
We're talking
if he
about
doesn't have a problem with it. He does.
We're talking about public humiliation. We're not talking about if they're married or whatever. We on the outside looking in. We're speaking on hypothetically speaking. Looking on from the outside in, we see this. This is what's going on, and you see it from Jada's point of view, from different things.
So I don't see it from Jada's point. That's you putting words in my mouth. I do not see it from Jada's point of view. I can't see it from Jada's point of view because I'm not Jada. What I'm saying is, we don't know. Okay, yeah, we can sit up here where she publicly humiliate him, but what has Will done for his daughter to write that type of letter?
See,
we don't know.
Willow wrote that letter to Will's first wife, Trey's mother. No,
I look at it as this: if they're still married, until Will say, you know what, I'm through with it. It's nothing that I can say about that marriage. Obviously,
we're not telling him to leave or saying if they should be married or not. But let me just say this to your point, Casanova. Had Willow wrote that letter to Will's ex-wife, then for him to be happy, then I would look at the situation a little differently. But because she wrote it on behalf of her mom to bring her mom joy and happiness. So because it was all about her and her mom. My mom misses you. My mom wish you was here. Please come back and make my mom and me happy. That's how I know it was about her mom, because Willow said it was about her mom in the letter. She didn't say it was about her dad. She didn't say come back and help my dad.
You said her mom told her that she wrote it on behalf of her mom.
No. I didn't say her mom said that. I said my perception is she wrote it on behalf of her mom and not behalf of her dad. I didn't say her mom told her that or said that.
Look at things differently, because I'm looking at the letter, but I'm looking at why would a daughter write something like this against her father? That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm not. I can sit up here and say, well, yeah, Jada may have did this or did that, but I look at everything.
She clearly did. How did Willow know about the close relationship with Tupac and her mom?
The same way you know about it. The same way you know about it.
I know it because Jada told me. Because Jada told me in the whole world. She told us. That's why.
But everything is on the internet.
I believe she told her daughter as well.
I can't say that because I wasn't there.
You're right. I believe that's my belief.
I look at everything.
Yeah, but my belief is she told her daughter.
I can't sit up here and say that Jada was like, yeah, your dad ain't this. I can't sit up here and say that. And
I ain't gonna even say the conversation went that hard like that.
I can't sit up here and say that Will may not have done something to his daughter. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, for a daughter to turn against her father, that raises questions for me, because I am a father who has it. And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it from a father's perspective. Like, dang, what would make a daughter write something
an unhappy mother? I have a mother or a wife that has regrets
baby mamas
of her decisions in life.
Huh?
A mom that has regrets, that have communicated those things to her daughter. That's what made to me, the letter wasn't even against her dad. She said nothing negative in that letter about her dad. She didn't bring her dad up. It wasn't about her dad. It was about
Yes, it
her
was.
mom's happiness.
Casanova, you
And
should
her
start.
mom's happiness. She said that she's not happy with her father.
You should definitely start watching Red Table Talk.
I don't watch that
You're
stuff.
seeing from you're seeing from a different perspective. Perception.
No, I don't.
Like, you get a different
I don't. I'm one of those people, like, I don't really watch that type of stuff because it's like
well,
you
it's
only get
type of
you
stuff
only
like
get
what? It's like a book. It's like Will's book, but they're talking out loud. It's nothing. It's like real life. It's what we're talking about. What she do to Will on Red Table Talk. What she say about him. You know,
I
how
don't have an opinion. I can't have an opinion about what she does to Will because Will stays in that.
No. This is what we're talking.
I don't have an
We're not
opinion
talking
about that.
Just regardless if he stays or not, we're just speaking on her presentation of her husband.
And what we're talking
And
about.
I
So
get that too. However, how I look at it is, if he had a problem with it, I don't see why everybody else. My whole thing is that's their marriage. They're actors.
Casanova.
They're actors.
Casanova.
We seem to forget that these are actors.
Okay,
And
no,
everything that
but
they're doing is for what?
Casanova.
It's controversy.
We're talking.
As long as we're talking, they're getting paid, right?
Listen, sir.
Has anybody ever thought about that?
Let Cammie speak.
We're talking about from the perception of the things that we were talking about earlier. Even though they are married and they're actors and they're getting paid, you already spoke on it. So we were just piggybacking off of what you were speaking on earlier in the conversation, and we're saying from our perception, this is what we see is happening, regardless if they're married, if they're actors, if they're getting paid. But we're picking back off of what you've already spoke on, and this is why we came back with what we were seeing from Red Table Talk. So it's two different perceptions here. Me and Jade's as a woman, and yours as a man from a male point of view. That's all we're talking about. We're not talking about it to say, oh, they're married and they're getting paid, they're gonna be together. That's beside the point. That's not the conversation. Conversation was what we were seeing from Jade's, not from Jade's, but from Jada, you know, what she's been doing and saying about Will Smith on live TV. And we were just saying
that's totally wrong. I don't agree with that. I said that's totally wrong, and I do not agree with that. That's what did I not say that? Did I not say that? I do not agree with how she's treating him. I said that. However, I said I don't know. It's not enough information for me to hate her because I don't know what Will's doing.
I don't hate Jada.
I'm not saying you do. And I'm saying you do. I said I can't form an opinion and be like, well, I don't know what's going on in their house. I don't have enough information, which is why I went and got Will's book.
Let me finish.
That's why I went and got Will's book.
Let me finish.
And I've listened to it, and I watched some of Red Table Talk. I watched some of it, but to me, it's not something that I get into because.
Okay, but you got to understand what I'm saying. Where I'm going with this.
Okay,
I can't go nowhere. Let me finish, honey. You gotta let me finish. So we were talking about how black women aren't protecting, and you said something, or well, Jay said something about black men being protected, and she brought this in. This is a segue. So we're saying, from my point of view, my perception anyway, that Jada don't protect her man is what I'm saying, and that's what the conversation is about. That's what we were talking about. It's not about them being married. I feel like Jay brought this in as an example of a black woman holding her man down.
Right.
Well said, Cammie.
I agree, but I've never disagreed with the fact that she disrespects her husband. I never said that she treats him right. I said I do not agree with how she treats her. However, with all this stuff that's coming up, the letter and everything else, I have to look at it from a father's perspective, because for me now it's like, well, damn, for a father to sit up here and for his daughter just to have that kind of despise for her father, it does make me look at Will like, okay, it may be more going on than what I know. I don't know him personally. I don't really know what goes on in their house. I have as much information as you guys have. But it does raise a question as to, well, it's a lot more going on than what we're being presented with.
Yeah, you keep saying that, and you're making a valid point, but I can tell you this again, just that letter situation, I believe, and we're just going to bump heads on this point, that that's not that's not an expression of Will doing something or being something other than a great father to his daughter. I just think that's her connection to her mom, and seeing and knowing firsthand that her mom would be happier with Tupac. Period. Again, I have to reread the letter, but I don't remember her saying anything about her father. So I don't think the letter was against her father. It was just for her mom's happiness and her mom's peace.
And a mother and a daughter talk. They're like this. They talk.
A child and a mom naturally bond. That's your first bond. Your mom. You're blood of her blood. You're definitely flesh of her flesh for 9 months, so that connection there is just a connection that no other person will have with
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Again, you keep talking about the letter, Casanova. I just want you to know.
No.
The letter
What I'm saying is
was not against Will. It was just for her mom.
What I'm saying is for a daughter to write that type of letter. Okay, and we can pull up the letter.
No, you can pull it up. I had it, but I can't pull it up now. Singular Television, while you're pulling up the letter, said in the book, did he cheat? I haven't read his book. Did he cheat, Jace, in the book?
When he met Jada, he was still married.
Okay.
Yeah, when he met Jada, he was still married. They wasn't all the way divorced or whatnot. So,
and I've heard that, like you said, Cammie, they've had an open marriage for years now, and they both kind of went outside and mingled in some things. And I don't have any proof of those things, but that's what the rumors are.
They talk, and she apologized to his first wife for coming in between their marriage.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes when you are that side chick and you end up with the man and he really does marry you after you divorce, after he divorces his first wife or whatever, I think sometimes there are some insecurities in that new marriage, probably because that what you did with him. So he's definitely a person that will, cheat on his wife, because he cheated on his wife with you. So I think when you marry a guy that did that, you probably naturally have some insecurities.
That's true. I agree.
Okay, so I got the letter, and it says, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back so my mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow."
See, and I told you she never said anything about her dad, but go ahead, make your point.
Okay, look, this is what I'm saying. Okay. What I'm looking at is, and this is just me as a father. Okay, I look at it, y'all look at it differently. I look at it from a father's perspective. And I'm like, well, what causes a daughter to write this type of letter so that mommy and me can be happy? What is it that he's doing that's so bad for her to sit up here and be like, me and mommy need to get away?
Because she's choosing her mom.
In some instances, if a child was to write that letter, that may be saying as it may be some type of abuse going on. If it wasn't Willow, if it wasn't anybody else, they would probably be looking at it like what's going on.
Great point, but for Willow, excuse me.
But I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying as a father, I look at that because I'm putting it in my shoes. My daughters would my daughters write a letter like that? Maybe if I was doing something to them that.
Great point. However, let me just say this. If that was the case, I would probably more lean toward really understanding your point of view had Willow said, so mommy, me, and Jaden can be happy. If it was so bad with her daddy, why would she leave her brother out? Why wouldn't she include Jaden in that? Jaden is in that household too. He's part of that family. He's a child of Jada and Willow, Wills.
And that
So
is,
why didn't
and that
she
raises
put
another
Jaden
question.
in there?
And that
If it
because
was about
maybe
being protected from her dad and
what
getting
if
away
what
from
if
something that he may have done. It
for
wasn't.
all we
It
know,
was about.
for all we know, Will may have molested his daughter. Who knows?
But
I mean, if
usually,
we
when
can throw
children
out
are
no,
molested, they have a sibling. They will protect
no,
their sibling as well. The molested child will protect. So she did not include Jaden.
no,
And
but
that's a
that's
horrible
what I'm
accusation.
saying.
That's a
That's what
horrible accusation.
I'm glad you
That is
brought
a
that
horrible
up.
accusation. Very horrible.
No, what I'm saying, y'all taking this way.
I see
Way
what
left.
you're
What I'm
saying, but
saying
that
is,
was just not a
what I'm
good.
saying is, what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is, as far as like, for her to say that, like you said, she didn't include her brother. So maybe it was something that she may have felt was being directed solely towards her. Because there's always sibling rivalry. It always is. Where if you're the middle child, if you're the only boy child in a house full of girls or whatever, who knows? But for her to write that letter as a father, yeah, it does cause me some concern because I know as a father, I would have a problem with not her so-called, because again, their relationship was open. They have said that on a couple of
Okay,
occasions.
I get
They
you.
have an
Now let
open
me say this.
relationship.
Wait, Casanova, let me say this. As a mother, and my 11-year-old daughter had wrote that, I would have got to the root of that problem. If I could, I would have done everything I could have gotten to the root of that problem for my baby to write something like this. Now, not saying Jada didn't. She may have and found that it was, she probably didn't because she know where that letter came from. But just going off of what you're saying, as a mom, I would have gotten to the root of that problem. Willow was what, 11 when she wrote that? How old is she now? 20, 21, something like that. So apparently what you're saying was unfounded by this great mother Jada, because if my daughter had wrote that, I would have needed, I needed to find out why. Why would my baby write a letter like this if I didn't already know where the root cause of this letter came from? I believe Jada did not do that because she knew where it came from, but just for the sake of argument, the way you're going with it is Willow just popped this letter out of left field and wrote this letter, and this letter is saying
No, that's not what I'm saying.
it's
That's
saying
not what
that
I'm
her
saying.
father may have done something
No,
to her.
what I'm saying is, as a
Hold
father,
on. Hold on. Let's talk about, let's
Come on,
forget all
Cammy.
that.
Come on,
Let's
boo.
talk about this.
Talk to
Who
me,
leaked the
Cam.
letter? Who leaked
Huh?
it? Who leaked it? How did it get out?
I don't know who leaked the letter.
Man, I'm gonna drop the mic.
Let's talk about how that letter get out. Who leaked it?
Great point.
So, like, I mean, some things are logical. Somebody is trying to destroy somebody in this whole thing. That's it. Period. Point blank. It's nothing to talk about. Like, oh, where was Jada? I mean,
but the
Jaden,
question
whatever.
is, you just said something. You said somebody's trying to destroy somebody, right? So the question is why?
It don't even. It ain't even about.
Don't say it don't matter.
We didn't get to the why yet. The why is really not the issue.
The why is important. The why is the most important thing. Why is she trying to? Why is she trying to destroy her husband? See, that's the big question.
Demasculating. Period. Point blank.
I think it's a little bit deeper than that.
Clear there. It's been there for a long time. She is very masculine as a female. Period. You see it all over her. She gets some feminine. She has some feminine qualities, but here lately she done changed her phone. Something in her face she done did. I mean, the short hair all the time. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, she's been rocking short hair for years.
It's just
off and on.
And since this table, it's been since this Red Table Talk. Since this Red Table Talk, that you've seen a decline. Period. So she's trying to build her brand. off of this whole thing. And talking about them, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I just because I just see a bunch of toxic traits within them too. They're not even a poster child for a black couple to me. You know how black people have this couple like Denzel and his wife, or you never know what they had to deal with to get where they was, or where they at, or Samuel L. Jackson and his wife. You never know what they had to go through to get where they at, but you didn't see anything like we see with Will and Jada. So to talk about, go back to the original topic and how black women holding down their men, being there for their men, protecting them, and black women being protected by black men. Those two couples seem like they definitely had met the standards with protecting each other because they didn't live their life publicly.
And again, that's another point that I'm trying to make too. Their whole relationship because before the red table talk and everything was put in public, we can make assumptions, but we didn't know because there was nothing to know. They might say, yeah.
Thank you. So why now? Why the red table talk to expose to destroy your husband? Why?
And that
you know what, Tammy? I think there's some
and that
envy.
Is the $1 million question.
There's some envy there. I'm not saying that she doesn't love Will, but it may be
you don't know that
there. You don't know that, but you're talking about the why. So why? It comes to the forefront. Like maybe she's jealous of his fame, of his character.
What makes you hate somebody that bad when you have to destroy them?
I mean, like with his 50th birthday party, it was so many people there, and he did that publicly, and he actually got a show now on is it Gaia, the History Channel, or Disney, where he's just doing everything, going everywhere. She was with them too when he was in Dubai, I think, or something, when she shaved her head again and put this thing on her head. She was wearing the Muslim attire or whatever. But you could see this, you could catch that on Disney, and he's living his life throughout. I think it's
Disney. I watched that. That was a good show.
Yeah, and it was the 50th birthday party. Then after the 50th birthday party, which Red Table Talk came, but Will after 50. He started doing everything. Everybody, filming everybody, doing things, flying down. Enjoying life. What I'm seeing from the outside looking in is him enjoying life. But then you see this Red Table Talk with 3 women who truly, to me, don't look like they know who they are as individuals, as women. Oh, yeah.
And
but Will is living like he know who he is. But these 3 women in his life
trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm.
And her mom's too old to be trying to figure it out. She look good for her age, but they don't know who they are.
You said she's too old to try to figure it out.
Like you don't know by now, but yeah.
You're 70.
That's a great point, Tammy.
But everybody has their time and their place for understanding.
But I'm sorry. But you like Will living
and I do agree with you on that as far as like Will is enjoying his life because again, he to me, him doing all this stuff, and notice if you ever watched, and I know you did, like you said, you may have seen Jada. I don't think I've even seen her in any other episodes on Disney.
Yeah, one time.
I don't think I even seen her.
And I think she did that on
was that on? I think that might have been on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that might have been on Facebook, like with the Disney stuff. I don't even recall his wife being in any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, I haven't watched all of it, but I know that I have been following a lot of his stuff lately, and it's just like he seems happier when she's not around. So That's what I'm
So,
saying. I mean, I'm not
well,
I'm not
just to bring
agreeing with
this
how she,
conversation to where we are as we get ready to end, knowing everything you know now, Casanova, and just putting, in talking to everybody you've talked to on this podcast and your private life at work or whatever, would you still approve? And do you still think the slap was all totally, sincerely, genuinely about Will protecting Jada because Chris Rock picked on her and made fun about her hair?
in a sense, yeah. But like I also said, after reading the book, and that book really helped, but that was his cry for help. Like
But
I'm
you,
serious. Like
but you're contradicting yourself. It's either it
no,
was
no,
his
no, no,
cry
no,
for
no. I'm
help
not.
or he
No, what I'm
slapped
saying,
Chris
this
to protect
it's
Jada.
not
It's either
contradictory.
or.
It's not contradictory. No, it's not contradictory because again, when I say that it's his cry for help, yeah, that when you've been abused, certain things, because that was just totally. I mean, let's just be honest. That was just totally, totally, totally out of character.
It
We wasn't
was.
even nobody even. It just came out of left field. Like he just walked up on the stage, piled, and went and sit back. It was like what the. They didn't even have a chance to go to a commercial. It was just like it was just that freaking fast. He blanked out just like that. I look at it as though Will has seen his mom constantly abused. He's been in an abusive relationship since he can't remember. He talks about that heavily in the book. He's getting mentally, he's being abused by his wife. He talks about not being unhappy, feeling like he was a weak man because he couldn't defend his mother. He was scared. He felt like a coward. And he talks about this heavily in this book. That's why I said, whatever his mental state was at that moment, I don't know. Maybe he reverted back to seeing his mom get beat, or it was a look on his mind on Jada's face that took him back to that childhood, and he blanked out and went up there and smacked at me. It's so many variables. But what I do believe, as far as that smack, I just believe that it was his cry for help. It was him breaking down finally from everything. Because even in the interview that his mom gave, she said that her sister told him, Will came to her crying because for all the things that he had to put up with and all the things that he had to deal with and do just to be that staple, that foundation for their family. So maybe at that point in time, yeah, he was like, this is my wife. It happened with my, I'm not going, who knows? But that was his cry for help. And that's why my thing is, I'm not really so much thinking so much about her because she's proven she's an idiot. It's nothing really, and I don't applaud her for anything that she's doing because again, I don't approve of it. But he's in that situation, he's staying in that situation like a lot of abused people do. And that's my question. Why? Why is he staying?
Okay, Kim,
That's
what's your summation of this conversation?
Okay, so I'm going back to the protection of Black people. I mean, the woman and the man, because that is a good topic. I mean, to me, like back in the day, I used to say it was a war between the Black family, the Black woman, and the Black man because they had been torn down by the powers that be. And now I feel like that we need to healing has already started within the communities. I'm seeing it, and we actually, as Black people, woman and male, should learn how to control our emotions so that we're able to communicate with each other better and to start healing from within. We should start healing from within so that we can go back to the way that our families was. Because when I was in humanities, I used to see a bunch of paintings or whatever. I talk about this all the time when I was studying ancient paintings. And it was always, I'm not racist. I want to let y'all know this. But what I saw was Romans, Greek, white men paintings or statues, men on men or men and children, or women on women. But the Black community was a black male, strong black king, black queen, and their children, maybe a lion beside him. It represented strength, and that has been broken down in the black community. And I know why, because of fear. I mean, they didn't want us to, to have power, because when we're together, we're stronger. And all these toxic masculinities out here, they have to start healing from within, because I think there is some healing that needs to be done. But that's my take on it all, so that we can get back to where we used to be.
Wow, well said, both of you guys. Yeah, my summation is, are there Black women being unprotected? Yes. Are there Black women being protected? Yes. In that, I think that Black women, that we have to be just as protective of our men as we expect them to be of us. We have got to be just as respectful, just as down. Our family was diluted over 60 years ago. Even in slavery, I think we had a more profound family connection and foundation, even in slavery. And when we came out of that, the people saw that strength and that unity, and they broke that down. Like, women couldn't have children and be with the man of their child, or they wouldn't receive services if they were in a position where they needed to receive state services. So, like, I remember the welfare worker would come to the house and make sure there was no man in the home with his woman or his children. If he married the woman, then they want to come after him, his little garbage man job, so the foundation of the Black family was purposely broke down, but we have to, like you say, Kim, we have to find a way to get back to that. And again, I just stand on, we have to be just as protective of them, their mindset, their hearts, their emotion, as they are physically for us. And Jay Casanova made a good point early on. Protecting the Black woman, or protection, doesn't always mean a physical fight or battle, a physical battle. It could be just protecting you by teaching you and guiding you in the right path, and letting you know you don't have to handle this situation as such. So
That's true.
So thank y'all.
Can I
Thank y'all.
say something? One more thing.
Yes, sir.
I think this is something that we should touch on the next time. And it's piggybacking off of what you said, Jackie, about this whole emasculation of Black men, and also this program of just destroying the Black family as a whole. And I think that's something that we really should touch on the next time we come together, because I think that's something that's important, because the Black community has been attacked on a consistent basis, and is still being attacked, on a consistent basis. It's like fathers are being taken out of the home. Like you said, if a Black woman she wasn't allowed to have a man in the house, because they would cut medical benefits and food benefits and all of those things. I think that's something that we should really touch on.
Cool beans. We can do that. We'll kick it at a later date and schedule something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about the positive things in the Black community as well.
Yes, absolutely. Because there is a lot of positiveness out here.
Yeah, it's a bunch of good things going, good things popping, things about healing. Like, we're going back to our original roots. A lot of us are.
Yes.
And you know all about that. So I think we definitely should talk about it.
I'm excited.
To medication, different medications, where you don't have to take pharmaceuticals, and you can do natural healings and natural herbs. Like sea moss, you spoke about that earlier. So yeah,
I'm drinking mine now. Yep. Yeah, you can get your C3 at So Ionic Botanicals.
I'm gonna go back and watch that video, and so I can see.
What is it called?
I want to watch the whole video so that I can see the product of the sea moss. And and everything.
Yeah, seriously, watch the whole video at large. Yeah, the girls
definitely
are
watch
right
that
there in
video.
your face when it first come on, but there's a bigger message than just the girls. It wasn't about the girls.
And what is it called? Moss? Get moss or?
Well, this is called C3. It's concentrated sea moss. It has, you know, the raw sea moss and other benefactors in there, but you can get it at soionicbotanicals.com. And it's called C3. Again, it's the concentrated sea moss.
So Bionic
I'm gonna go back and
Botanicals.
watch that video.
I'll put the link in the description of this video. Yeah, you go back and watch Moss video and then let me know. And you know what? Comment on there. Comment, because the artists and everybody there looking at the comments, wanting the feedback, and yeah, state how you genuinely feel about it. And we'll get together real soon so we can come back. I like the subject matter that was presented for the next panel discussion is, you know, how the Black family was torn apart purposely. And also, Cammie, a great point. Let's talk about some positiveness, some things that Black men, Black women are doing, and how there are still families out here. I meet them almost, I ain't gonna say every day, but I have met them. You know, you have mom, dad, children, and the children are just as like-minded and smart and focused as mom and dad, because that's what's being taught to them. That's what's being instilled in them. It's this one young lady, she's about 9. She makes a vegan fingernail polish. And I'm like, wow, can you come on my channel and talk about that? You know, a 9-year-old. So
yeah, it's like they are so business minded, business savvy. So many Black people out here with their own businesses, which is doing their own thing. So that's a good thing. So yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you. Call me after you look at that Moss video, Casanova.
Gotta get Moss.
I might be tired after I watch that video.
Get Moss, Casanova.
You might start trapping. You might start trapping sea moss. Yeah, the artist rolling up in colorings and everything off of that.
I'm looking for this cocoa butter.
But this.
Oh,
might watch that video with some cocoa butter or something.
I'm getting ready to click him off.
It's a high video.
No, yes.
You said what?
Love y'all.
All right. Thank you, Destiny. She said this show is amazing. Thank you for watching, Destiny. Really appreciate your view. You and Singular Television and Miriam Walker. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Bye.